Hello viewers. Well, a word on car audio. Where does our perception of sound come from?
Ready?
Yep, do it.
A short but epic demonstration there of one of the cars that was being tested outside the GT Sport demonstration. So of course we have an idea of where car sound comes from. That was muffled. You're wearing a helmet as well. It's very loud, you know, it's too loud for your ears almost. And then you come to a game where it's a different sort of engineered, refined sound. So let's listen to this Corvette here, Z06 Corvette going around Brands. A very mechanical sound, and let's listen to the progress that's been made now on GT Sport. So a much more guttural sound in what we've got there. It's much more realistic. We still have those tyre marks tyre sound effects, which I'm going to talk about later, which is still a bit off. But either way, there's been some significant improvement there made to the engine sounds that we're hearing, and that makes a huge difference to the feeling and immersion. So we know where we've come from and where we're going, and we've seen a significant improvement there, and it is a significant improvement. I will say that, bear in mind, when I was playing it at the time I had no audio, but let's hear a closer comparison between the two back to back. So it's clear from hearing that there's perhaps more progress than we initially realised. I think when you're hearing the headphones there, I mean, I was playing without audio, so all my driving and all my videos was done silently, looking at the gear to go red to know when to change, basically. So it's very difficult for me to get a feel for it at the time. And of course, just here, I'm listening to different types of sounds in terms of the replay. We're going to come back on the replay sound effects later on in the video. Mainly here I was just looking at the views and the approach in terms of foliage and how that's been altered, what's near the track and everything else. Here we're in the new Bugatti car, the concept car, racing around, again learning my way around this new Tokyo circuit. And again, this will be a separate video. I think we're going to have 4 gameplay videos which you guys will be able to select from after this is up later this week. Sound again there, so there's definitely a better engine note that they've got there, more detail in terms of the gear changes and everything else that you're hearing. The camera going slightly out of focus there because it got knocked by a passerby, but nevertheless we at least can hear the game. Very uncomfortable for me in that seat, sort of crunched up like this I was. For someone a foot shorter than me, no audio, just driving around looking at the gears and hoping that afterwards it would actually sound okay. but certainly the sound is much improved. It's a step in the right direction, isn't it? In terms of gameplay, I'm going to talk about that on another video. Or within the gameplay videos that are going to be coming up for each car. So, racing round. And you can hear that sound effect again here. This is again GT6. Again, a very mechanical sound. It's not very natural. It just doesn't. It feels very robotic in terms of the way it works. It was disappointing for its time. There hadn't been much progress in the audio. Almost amazing that that's been left out. Again, we see the cockpit cam here as well. Very limited field of view for me. Hence I found it much easier driving from the bumper cam. Got the roof cam here as well. I'm just keen on that. I generally like a bonnet cam rather than a roof type of cam. Hear the different engine note there as well. Replays. It's all round better audio, but what I found was there was one stable sound of the car. If we listen to Assetto Corsa, and I'm not doing this to compare the game, but to compare the way the car sounds. Now, the car has an approach sound, an active sound, an away sound, and a gear changing sound for each of those as well, affected by the environment. So that's something which isn't there in GT at the moment, in terms of that's it, the car there coming, and then it blasts past you. The noise is always obviously behind the car, boom, you know, deafens you, especially when 2 or 3 go past, very loud indeed. So I had a quick go on the oval. This is in an Aston Martin GT. Again, improved a lot on where it was. I still wouldn't say that necessarily there's not a lot of room for improvement. There is, but it's a step in the right direction. Obviously you have that tyre screeching, and tyre screeching sounds, really there should be more than one type. You have one type where the tyre is starting to lose traction with the tarmac, and then you have another sound where the tyres are spinning, and that's a separate sound to the losing traction. That's something else that needs to be looked at. I just wanted to show the Rome circuit from GT6 because I thought great looking circuit, lots of catchment fences and detail and hoardings and fans and, you know, road markings and everything else. Almost like there's more detail here than there is on the new Tokyo circuit, which I enjoy, but it's lifeless, as discussed in part 1 of my videos looking at the game. And of course on to that Tokyo circuit, and this was a race here. I was in the Audi R8. R8, no, which one was I in? The Le Mans one, or it's the Quattro, whichever one it is now. And so racing into the tunnel. No echo there, no change in terms of outside to inside the tunnel. Again, just one stable sound. You would hear cars echoing, you'd hear them changing gear. There's a lot you hear when a loud car goes into a tunnel like that, I can tell you. And it isn't quite coming across there, it's just the car engine sound. There's still a long way to go there in terms of improvement of atmospheric, environmental sound effects. I was enjoying this though, I will point out, I was enjoying, you'll see I'm getting better and better at it, despite being squashed into this little seat. I went back and played a bit of GT6 again, just because I thought it reminded me a little bit of the special stage, the route that was in it, and racing around here at night. Of course, this was in the original Gran Turismo. There is a certain, there's a certain lovely feeling to coming back to the original Gran Turismo tracks from the first game and seeing them improved every time. I think it's because we haven't seen the step forward. And of course then Ridge Racer it reminded me of. It reminded me of Battle Gear, it reminded me of Ridge Racer, it reminded me of Tokyo Highway Battle. It reminded me of all these games in terms of the plainness of the city environment. Obviously there you're jumping in the air using nitros and here you're not, but fundamentally the feeling is the same. Yes, it's based on Tokyo highways, but at the same time, because it doesn't feel real in that sense, it gives it that more arcade-like rave racer feeling to an extent. But I hope you've enjoyed some of the audio here as I'm speeding along. Great feeling of speed. Look forward to showing off that video as well, and the other videos will be up on the channel. I hope you like this little insights into some of the audio and how it's improved, some other bits and pieces which I wanted to share with you, which show you where my mindset comes from, and I'll be looking at some of your feedback and discussing some of that in a future video as well, all about Gran Turismo Sport. So that's it from me for now. Do click on one of these links, like and subscribe to support what we do. Really appreciate that. And as ever, there'll be more from me very soon.